As we progress now into the different formations, we're going to start with 7v7 before we move to 9v9 and 11v11. So this first slide is just going to look at the general formation, and then we'll look into really player movements within the formation before moving into different ideas of style and system and some examples of how it can look in defense and how it can look into the attack. So for our new coaches, a formation is written from back to front. So as you see there, a 1-2-3-1, one goalkeeper, two central defenders in this field. You have a central midfielder, two wide midfielders, and a forward. You see the build outlines in between the bottom of the circle and the top of the penalty area. Those are part of the U.S. soccer player initiatives, player development initiatives for an offside line and where you have to drop back from when the goalkeeper has the ball in their hands or a goal kick, right? So just the general rules that we have to apply to. The formation is important in the sense of formation and shape also are going to be kind of used interchangeably, where we want the shape to always kind of remain the same, but players might move in and out of different positions. But so long as every spot is filled by a person, then that's okay. And that's really, really important to kind of get your players to understand so they don't feel like I am a center forward and I must stay in the middle of the field and I must stay up here and I can't move, and that's kind of gets in the way of their overall player development. When a wide right midfielder thinks they must stay wide right all of the time, that's a problem, right? Relative to the central midfielder, they're going to be more to the right and more wide than the central midfielder the vast majority of the time, but that doesn't mean they're just always out wide. They might be in the center of the field, and that's okay. It's probably a good thing if they are when we're defending, right? So a lot of situational play will come up here, and again, that's why we keep harping on it. Why players must be able to read the game, read the situation, know what's going on in the field, and then move accordingly, right? So, but for 7v7, the formation that we're advocating is a 2-3-1. It's more attack based. It's easier to get more people going forward. It forces the wide midfielders to get up and down the field, as we'll see in the next phase. You can shore this up by having more players in the back, but then from their beginning, they're getting into a more defensive mindset. And I think as we're trying to develop players and get them touches on the field and get them running, that this formation involves more mobility, meaning more people moving, getting into the attack and getting into the defense, which is why we're advocating it. So this is going to bring you back to your Venn diagram days, and hopefully it can make some sense for you. So you see different colors on the field: black for the forward, yellow for the central midfielder, blue for the wide midfielders, and red for the defenders. The idea here is to show you for the vast majority of the time where these players might be moving in and out of, right? So the forward is going to have to come back on the defensive side of the field. But in the attacking part of the field, they have the freedom to kind of move wherever is necessary. And as we go into future diagrams, you'll see that they might make runs out wider than the penalty area. They might check back on the defensive half. Also, these circles are not like, electric dog fences. It's not like if they step a little bit out of these, the players should get zapped or yelled at or anything like that. They're just generalities of where they'll be moving most of the time. And some there's a little bit of how you draw the circle. Obviously, players are allowed in corners if you're seeing that. But it's just really, really important to understand and get your players to understand the movement and the ground that they have to cover. That just because they're a forward doesn't mean they just stay high all the time, right? You can see how these overlap. You can have a central forward getting higher than a central midfielder getting higher than a center forward. You can have a wide midfielder coming all the way back in with the defenders. So very, very important to understand that. Shape stays the same. It just kind of shifts up and down the field and side to side across the field.